Well, that sucked. For the first time of the season, the Yankees got swept by the Boston Red Sox. The Yankees got swept by a team, period. And it was the Boston Red Sox. They were one of three teams, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Reds, that have not been swept this year. The Dodgers have already been swept, I think, twice. But the Mets look like they're about to get swept by the Tampa Bay Rays also. They're losing 6-0 in the seventh inning. So there's that, too. So it looks like the Yankees and Mets might be off that list. And the Reds will be the only other teams that haven't been swept yet. So, but doesn't take this thing away any better. But with that said, with box scores, happy Father's Day to all the dads in here, by the way. Max Fried actually wasn't bad. 7 innings pitched, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts, 1.89 ERA. Mark Leiter Jr. came in through an inning, clean, 2 strikeouts. That was it for the pitching. Offensively, Trent Grisham was 2 for 4. Ben Rice 1 for 3. Aaron Judge 0 for 4. Cody Bellinger 1 for 3. Jazz Chisholm 0 for 3. Anthony Volpe 0 for 4. Dominguez 0 for 3. Scara 0 for 2. Oswald Peraza 0 for 2. And Paul Goldschmidt 1 for 1. They have 5 hits today. So their bats did not show up this series. Their pitching didn't do bad this entire series. Carlos Rodon wasn't bad. Max Fried wasn't bad. Ryan Yarbrough wasn't bad. The bats did not show up. So it is what it is, right? You know, what I do feel better about is the next, I'd say, 13 or 14 games that the Yankees are going to be playing. They're in a good position to probably go 11-3, 10-4, 12-2. They're going to be playing the A's, the Reds, the Orioles, and the Angels for 13 games. So those 13 games will be heavily in their favor. So the Yankees are in a good spot now to pile up some wins in a short period of time. So I wouldn't be running around my hair on fire just yet. This is baseball. It happens. Yep. Who's that, Beagle? Who doesn't have hair? Cashman's Fireboy. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah. There's so many fair weather fans and fair weather content creators who think they could do such a better job. They should be applying for the job. The Yankees would love their energy. Yeah. On my hair on fire? Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I shave my hair, so I don't have any hair to set on fire. That's a good point, Pico. So I wouldn't be running around setting my clothes on fire, but everybody else wouldn't be running around setting their hair on fire. But it's not the end of the season, despite what some people say. People saying the season's over. They're still in first place. Okay? So the Dodgers have already been swept at least once, I think twice. The Mets are about to get swept. This is what happens with first place teams. They're not going to always win every series and sweep every series. No. We have some reinforcements coming. It sounds like Aaron Judge is going to be back. So this was a series for the Yankees to suck now. I'd rather them suck now than suck in September against the Red Sox. So DFA, I don't know. With regards to Stanton, I'm going to guess it's Pablo Reyes. Probably gets DFA'd or optioned or something. That's my guess. But, yeah. Yeah, exactly, 99. Yeah. He can apply for Boone job or apply for Grisham's position or apply for Judge's position or Rodon's position. Because he has that contagious energy that the Yankees and the Yankee fans just love. Right? No. Yeah. 162 game season. There's still 90 games left to play. So there is time. Yeah, it did suck. And I believe me, I hate getting swept, period, but I hate getting swept by the Red Sox. But again, like I was just saying, I'd rather this happen now. I'd rather them suck in June against the Red Sox than September against the Red Sox. This lineup will be different by the deadline. Right? No. Yeah, I mean, other people, opinions are fine, but if you're gonna use other people's weak ass talking points, it's gonna get called out. Narratives and fair weather fan BS, it's gonna get called out. It's that simple. A lot of these fair weather fans who don't play the game or have never played the game make it seem like it's that easy. saying, Judge or Captain, figure it out. It's not that easy. Okay. Judge isn't clutch. Well, guess what? Neither is Otani. Right? Yeah, the Rays. I said in the beginning I would not be sleeping on the Rays. The Rays are a good team. Opinions aren't annoying if they're based in reality. Opinions are annoying if they're based on propaganda and talking points. You know, at least in my opinion. Opinions are welcome here. Venting is welcome here. Frustration is welcome here. Jordan Romero. What about him, John K? Are you talking about the series right now? The Mets Rays? No, I haven't gotten clearance, but it was a young Yankees bat who batted right. I'll just say he was bat right-handed. It was to the Pittsburgh Pirates for a reliever. That fell through. Can't mention specific names yet because the trade might be revisited. Might turn into a multiplayer trade. So I don't want to be the person who messes that up if it gets to happen. So Orioles swept the Angels. Good for the Orioles. Yeah. Well, this is the thing too. You know, and Judge. Well, with the exception of him, I mean, there were a couple other guys who got some hits, but the bats just didn't show up. So, but this is true too, Mr. Bryan. Yeah, when they're clicking, they're a hard-to-beat team. Boston. You can be in last place, but if they're on fire for a series, they're a very hard team to beat. That's 100% right. You're 100%, man. Well, I'd rather suck right now, Clemenza, for a series than in September. That's just the way I look at it. They're still in first by multiple games. So, well, he doesn't act like he doesn't care, David. That's the problem. I mean, I don't know what narrative people are peddling, but he's out there fighting with umpires on the regular. This is why the players have his back, because he has their back. They're loyal to each other. I don't know who's peddling this narrative that Boone doesn't care. What channels? Please tell me what channels are peddling this crap. Yeah, crochet easily. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather kick their ass in August than June. They were terrible with runners in scoring positions. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah. Again, this is baseball. This is the dog days of summer. We're approaching the dog days of summer, right? This is when things start to get hot and crazy. And when the deadline comes, this is when, we're being more identified with their needs. Boone is more lackadaisical. In your opinion, is your opinion based in fact? Where are the lackadaisical? Where is he lackadaisical? And where is AJ Hinch not? Or how are they completely different? He 100% has his players back, Boone. Yeah, we use our eyes too. Boone has his players back. But Jake, where's Boone lackadaisical? I don't see AJ Hinch acting like Billy Martin and Lou Piniella and fighting with umps and blah blah blah. Yeah. Please explain your position. That's what we're here for. Rockies are kicking the Braves' ass too. See? Even the Rockies, the worst team in baseball by probably 10 miles, start beating up on teams. So it's going to happen too. Yeah, well, this is true too, Lorenzo. And they have time to right themselves, to get there. We're doing this without Cole, without Luis Hill, no Stanton. So we have a bunch of reinforcements that haven't come back to the bullpen yet. No. Is my man interfering here? From the zone, the strike zone? Where is he? Is he in here? I didn't see him. If he's in here, yo! I don't know. I mean, they got outplayed by the Red Sox this series, period. Moving on. The Reds took 2 out of 3 against the Tigers, too. The Tigers, they had the best record in baseball. They just lost the series against the Reds. Look at that. You see? It looks like a lot of the first-place teams are losing, having a bad series. It's not only the Yankees. It's just baseball. It happens. Where's the fire from him? On the field. On the field. Do you think he's going to trash his players openly in the dugout? That's what got Girardi fired from the Yankees. Remember that? He's not going to do that. This team is fundamentally way better than it was last year. Look at all the metrics. Better fielding percentage. They're at the top of most of the scales. They have 10 guys with an OPS over 700. That's fundamentally better. Last year they had 4 guys or 5 guys over 700. Now we have 10. We've broken these numbers down. They have a bunch over 800 too. They didn't have that last year either. They had 2 star players, and then Judge, and then Stanton, and a massive step down everywhere else. Now it's much more balanced. Girardi got fired because he was combative with the media and he was throwing his own players under the bus publicly. Like, this is well known. I mean, it doesn't mean he wasn't a good manager. That just didn't, and he got fired from the Phillies too. Like, people keep saying, let's fire Boone. Who are we going to replace him with? Who are we going to replace him with? That's a better option. And why? Yeah, now, I mean, and Girardi was also the beneficiary of probably the biggest free agent class in the history of the Yankees. Added to the core 4 in 2009. They added CeCe, Teixeira, Burnett, Nick Swisher. They had a monster, right? All players accountable. How, Jake? How? Bench players? Who are you going to bench when we don't have an adequate bench behind them? How are you going to hold them accountable? And he's not necessarily always going to be the one to hold them accountable. Gleyber Torres was held accountable because he wasn't re-signed. Neither was Verdugo, not re-signed. Gleyber Torres probably cost himself $100 million in free agency. What is bigger accountability than that? I can't think of any. So hold players accountable. That narrative, I can't see. There's 1 or 2 channels that paddle that crap all the time, and they can never explain their arguments or never explain what the version of accountability is. What accountability? What are you going to do? Especially when you do not have enough bench depth behind them. This is my question, right? This is why I don't listen to these fair weather fan channels. They peddle this narrative, and then a bunch of people run with this narrative all over the place. Oh, I know he does. I don't listen to them. It's a waste of time listening to him. You're saying, I know. He says it all the time. He never explains it. And who knows? Who knows if they're doing that or not, Beagle? That's the problem too. We can go by speculation and assume they don't do that, but I don't know. I mean, like, none of us are there behind the scenes during private workouts and so on and so forth. So. Well, keep in mind, too, Dominguez is a rookie. And the guy that you would play in his place, Trent Grisham, is not playing well either. So what is the solution there? You're not going to play Ben Rice in the outfield. And people, every day we see people saying, well, you can't play Grisham. You got to play Dominguez. And then, okay, played Dominguez. He made a mistake. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to bench him for the player who's not performing either? This is one reason I've been in favor of, I've even suggested sending Dominguez down to AAA to work on a few things and calling up Everson Pereira right now. Right? But no, people don't want to see that because Dominguez is a superstar. He's the future and blah, blah, blah. But again, I don't know. I'm sure he does, Yassine, without any evidence to back it up. I mean, harder workouts is one thing, but you have to be careful with harder workouts because they can injure people. So, especially in season, especially when they're playing every day, it's hard to do. Why does I don't know. Yassine, I don't know. Well, he doesn't make that call, Boone, Jake. That's not Boone. He's not the guy that send guys down and call them up. He doesn't have that authority. Keep thinking it's not the manager and keep losing. Okay, who is it, James White? Who is it? Explain why. I don't buy their arguments, Brandon. People keep saying it's right. I don't buy it. Yeah, it's the same thing all the time. It's a convenient response to blame Aaron Boone for everything. Blame Cashman. Offer zero solutions. Blame Hal for not spending even though they're at the top payroll pretty much every year. Not have an understanding at all about their finances and peddle this narrative that they're sitting on hundreds of millions in profits, which is not the case. Profits is not the same thing as revenue. But Jake, that's not Boone's call. He cannot send down Dominguez. That has to be the GM's call, the front office's call. Right? It is a talking point, especially when you can't back it up. When the solution to everything is blame Boone, that is like if Hal and Cashman don't go all in, if they trade them, the Yankees should forfeit this season. Yeah, why? I don't really care what he says, but I don't know what he means by all in. Does he know what he means by all in? And go all in doesn't necessarily mean spending, getting expensive players. Expensive players aren't necessarily the best fits. And we don't know who's going to be available. Right? Forfeit the season. I mean, come on. You should forfeit the channel if you're going to trash the Yankees all the time. Like, really. But let him. He's got his audience. He does that. Let him. People find him. People like to listen to him, so. It is a blanket phrase, yeah. That's a cop-out phrase. Dodgers scouting report. The Yankees pitchers did not pitch well against the Dodgers. How can he discipline his players, Mary Ellen, and motivate his player? And he clearly does. The players play hard for him. You know that, but how would you prefer he discipline his players? And does he even have that ability? Does he have the ability to discipline his players? He doesn't pay he doesn't sign their paychecks. Yeah. There's a lot of players that are not playing well right now. That goes with the Mets too. Soto's not playing well. right? They're $800 million man. Not playing well. Okay? This is baseball. It's the longest pro season. Yeah, Stanton is projected to come either Monday or Tuesday to come back and be in the lineup. So, but Mary Ellen, please explain. I know that too. They practice bunting. They work on fundamentals on a regular basis. But if they're getting vetoed by the powers that be by above, that's out of Boone's purview. He can't do anything. He cannot overrule the people above him. People can definitely have opinions. Jake, there's no doubt about that. Doesn't mean everybody's going to agree with each other, which is fine too. We definitely need pitching, Mary Ellen. I do think they'll get pitching at the deadline. Or before the deadline. They should get before the deadline. But we'll see. The problem with that is when it comes to the deadline, this is going to be a seller's market, meaning there's going to be more buyers than sellers, right? And the seller's going to set their prices high. And they're going to play teams off each other. And they're going to try to hold these players until closer to the deadline to get teams to overbid. This happens every year. I don't think Jesus Rodriguez is going to. I mean, if you call him up, I don't think he's going to catch. They're not going to move on from Escara or Austin Wells. But third base, you could replace one of those guys at first base. At third base, sure, Marcel. I'm fine with that. Diamondbacks, they have the clutch gene right now. They're just missing. They just lost their closer to Tommy John. Corbin Burns to Tommy John. AJ Puck's out too. So they're getting clobbered right now, unfortunately. Well, they're missing. I mean, at least in my opinion, they're missing a stronger bench, and that's Cashman's job to get a stronger bench here. So we'll see. Do I think Grisham's a bench player? I mean, at this point, like I said, if you have to choose between Grisham and Dominguez, while Everson Pereira is raking in AAA, I think that Trent Grisham might be considered as a trade piece for the deadline. And if he does get moved, Everson Pereira has to come up, and then they have to promote Spencer Jones to AAA. Right? James Wade, fans voluntarily pay for the tickets. Our wages are not garnished. The gift for the job, the Yankees are in first place. Right? And why do you need somebody to blame? So he gets the credit. And generally, he doesn't get the credit for the wins. The players get the credit for the wins. He gets blamed for the losses. When you say he doesn't have the gift for the job, they're in first place. So what gift does? I mean, when you say that, please elaborate, James. Yeah, 16 games in a row. Yeah, going out for dinner, Beagle, with the family. Nobody's cooking tonight. We're gonna go out. Yeah, blaming is just a miserable. It's just a weak cop out. I mean, we look for solutions here. We try to have each other's back and say, how can we help this team get better instead of looking for people to blame? That's those other fair weather final channels that pose as real talkers, right? And you're looking for people to blame pretty much every day when you don't play the game yourself. It's a complete thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you. It's Happy Father's Day to all dads in here, by the way. Thank you. So, but, we don't spend our time patting ourselves on the back and saying how great we are, how much better we are than everybody else. We don't do that here. Other channels do that. Spend that much more time needing their ego stroked while catering to the people who bash Cashman and bash Boone because they do all the time. Jacob Wilson will be a starting. Probably. He's good. Him or Bobby Witt Jr., but he seems to be performing better right now than Bobby Witt Jr. Jacob Wilson. So I wouldn't be surprised. And he's earned it so far. He's earned it. He's a good player. He's a good player, you see. They got a young, dynamic team over there in Oakland, Sacramento. No. Oh, yeah. Players are going to go through some cold spells too, Marion, just like the Mets are doing, just like the Dodgers, just like a bunch of other players from other teams. Like Willie Adames, the guy that so many fans wanted the Yankees to sign for like $200 million. He stinks. Right? Stinks. Just because players are big, expensive players doesn't mean they're the big best fits. Yep. Sniffed. December cold. Yeah, man. Believe me. I like the cold better than the heat, personally. So, I like the fall and the winter. I do. I even grill out in the fall and the winter, too, outside. 94 is brutal. Oof. Florida, too, with all the humidity. Oh, gosh. That's rough, man. Stay cool, Beagle, man. Stay cool, dude. Really stay cool. Yeah. But that's it, gang. Look, it was a sucky day today. Sucky series. That's behind us now. Nothing we can do. I'm outside working. I work out from 6 to 7 every morning, Beagle. Well, Monday through Friday. And now it's 6 to 7:30. And then Saturday, the gym opens at 7, so I go there from 7 to 8:30 or something like that. And then Sundays, I just stretch in the morning. Just stay loose, enjoy the gains for the week, and relax. So today's my recovery day. Spring, summer, and fall. Oh, I hear that, Stephen B. Totally hear that, brother. They're in first place because of great management and Yankee payroll. Great, no one is to blame, so keep quiet and enjoy being the Dodgers' girlfriend in the World Series. Oh, good Lord. Oh, go peddle that one to the Fairweather fans of the Dodgers channels, please. It does nothing for the conversation using other people's talking points. Nothing. It's so weak. Ken, what do you know? Ted Bundy and a Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, my good Lord. Oh, gosh. Ted Bundy and a Jeffrey Dahmer. One was executed, the other one was murdered in prison. Both were serial killers. Luigi Mangione. Yeah. That's the guy that killed the executive of United Healthcare, right? Yeah. They're crazy right now. You've seen this. People are. I mean, look at yesterday. Yesterday was a shit show. Yesterday was just ridiculous. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And when you want to talk about whether it's performance or Yankee payroll, let's see. The highest paid pitcher not here. One of the highest paid hitters not here also. The Yankees are still in first place without them. So yeah, great coaching and management. It means getting your players to perform well. 10 guys in the team with 700 OPS. I think 4 or 5 of them with over 800 OPS. That's performance. That's performing well. And in first place. Despite higher paid players being hurt. So that to me is perspective also. Yeah, Ken. De Niro was great in The Untouchables, man. Same here, Beagle. Overreacting is just ridiculous, man. Not the legendary player. Big games. Well, I'm glad we have Ohtani and his 105 batting average in the World Series last year to be the man of the hour, right, Stacks? Kenneth, God bless you. Same to you, brother. God bless. Baseball bat, yeah. Right in the head, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Look at Ohtani's World Series stats, about a 105. Yep. And that's just a fact, unfortunately. Mhm. No one talks about Otani slumping, but everyone talks about, yeah, well, exactly, Yassine. Exactly, because Otani's apparently the golden boy, right? And how do you know that George didn't want Hal running the team? Did George tell you that? Yeah, Rice can picked up second. I mean, Dominguez is base running yesterday. And again, these are young players, man, rookie players. So, well, exactly too, Nathaniel. Yeah, they were going to get swept by somebody. And it looks like the Mets are about to get swept too. So it sucks, but got to move on. Got to move on. Um, yeah, I mean, it wasn't much to report, honestly, today's game. Yankees bats didn't really have it this series. Hopefully, the bats will pick up against the Angels back at home. They go back home now, so you know I'm working on a background beat. I'm building a room upstairs, but until then, I can't go up there. I have 6 more rooms in my house that still need to be built out, and one of them is going to be that room. And now I'm going to have all my memorabilia, all that stuff, my frame stuff behind me. You'll see everything. And I'll take you on a tour of the room. All um, my degrees will be up there. My black belt certificates will be up there. All that stuff will be on. I'll take you through everything. Yeah, Trout's coming back, and they are due. Yeah, they are due. Yeah, and the Angels are a good team to take out your frustration on. So a whole house tour, I will see about that. I don't know if I have to get the blessing from the girls for that. I have to make sure their rooms are clean too. Huh. I'll at the very least take you on a tour of some of it, Wink. I'll show you my ride train and all the other stuff. So I'll take you. Happy Falls Day to you, Raul, too. Appreciate you. Yep. Yep. You want? Who did he pick to run his team? I mean, and George also he was universally hated by the owners. He also had a shipping business to help him finance the team too. He sold all that stuff, and Hal doesn't have any of that stuff. And Hal has to also share with multiple partners. He also has to deal with Cohen threshold. He has to go deal with financing a new stadium. George didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. So Hal's in a different situation than George is. You know, and Hal also, to his defense, hasn't got himself banned from baseball like George did. George is beloved, yes, but doesn't mean he didn't make his mistakes. He didn't screw up because he did. Harrison, it's still too early to tell. I mean, NL West is tough, but the AL East is no cakewalk either. AL East is always a cakewalk. I mean, it's always a tough one every year. So I hear that, Beagle. Yeah, we came up here. I mean, when I was back living, in Manhattan, it was like that, and living in New York City, it was like that all the time. And music all the time playing. It was just crazy everywhere. Oh yeah. What was it like watching the Yankees? It was great, but they also had they also slumped. They got when I remember when the Yankees were winning 100 games a year, pretty much. They used to get their asses kicked by the Royals, who at the time were losing 100 games. Yankees always had tough struggles against the worst teams in baseball. Right? But that team also, when George Torrey was gifted a lineup full of veterans and playing great players and so on and so forth. Aaron Boone was not handed that. Girardi was, Torrey was, Boone was not. So you have to gradually build into this. And the first, double superstar lineup last year that they went to the World Series. Partly due to the players, partly due to the coaching. Matt played too. Okay. And this is not to say Boone doesn't make his mistakes, because he does, but so does Dave Roberts. So does everybody else, right? How do you know that? Yeah, I wouldn't, unless we can confirm that. I wouldn't. Yankees dynasty. We don't know that. We don't know that, Stacks. You saying Yankees dynasty never got swept in Fenway Park? They got eliminated multiple times in the postseason by the Red Sox. Remember that? In 2003, they were up 3-0, and then the Red Sox came up and ran the table on them. All those guys from Yankee dynasty were on that team. AJ, it's all right, man, dude. It stings a little bit, but we got to move on, man. We got to move on. AJ, the next 13 days, the next 13 games, the Yankees are going to be playing pretty crappy teams, so they have an opportunity to rack up a bunch of wins here. I don't remember you seeing, but they did win the World Series in 2009. What fundamentals are you talking about, James White, that the 78 team had that this team does not? Be specific. Our fielding percentage is way higher. Our batting average is way higher. Slugging way higher. Home runs are really higher. OPS way higher. So what fundamentals are you referring to? The 78 team also made a run. They also had Reggie Jackson on the team too. So Yankees lost in 2001. Yankees also lost in 97. They got eliminated in 97. Mariano Rivera gave up the game-winning home run to Sandy Alomar to get them eliminated in the postseason. He also gave up the game-winning base hit in 2001. Greatest closer in the history of the game. To what the hell's his name? Luis Gonzalez from Diamondbacks. It happens. This happens. Yeah, they're cold right now, Siciliano. Well, what fundamentals did the 78 team have that this team does not have? Siciliano's in the building. What's that? That's the question. That James White proposed to us. So that's my question for James. I'm telling you, Siciliano, in much love, brother, much love. Mm-hmm. Because I hear that, AJ. I was rooting, yeah. Yeah. It was the exception. He also blew a big game in 2001. Both times. You know? Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to get some fair weather. We got so many fair weather fans. And you can tell the other guys sell him on his channel. I think I wouldn't say mental, Jake. They're going to struggle against teams. And I mean, you have to learn from what they're doing now, what they're not doing now, address the deadline, and bring in players that are going to help them do better in these areas, right? What accountability, Siciliano? There are like one or two channels who keep peddling this accountability narrative, but they can never explain what it is. What is the accountability? John B. A-Rod, Sheffield. Yep. Yep. And I mean, we don't know if the tough love doesn't exist. We don't know because they don't do it in public. And generally, tough love is not done in public. What blanket excuses? And who's they, Beagle? This team is not as stacked as the 2009 team. The 2009 team had the core four, and they had Cece, they had Swisher, they had Teixeira, they had Burnett, they had Marte. That team was beyond stacked. Beyond stacked, right? And I don't know why people are comparing this to the Dynasty team anyway. Why are people doing that? It's a different game. I'm not sure who I want to see coach the next year. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Robinson Cano also. Yeah. Before he got Pop Juice, before he left the Yankees for big money, and then we got Pop Juice in a bunch of times. Yeah. Yankees dodged a bullet there. Great hitter, though. No doubt. But they dodged a bullet there. A lot of bad pitching. Yeah. Jarrett Wright, Bartolo Colon, Javi Vasquez again, right? So, and now we have our ace injured, right? Our rookie of the year injured, our biggest postseason bat injured. So we're missing big pieces. Yeah. I understand the benching the player, but we don't have the depth behind them to make it easy to bench these guys. And that's not Boone's job. That's Cashman's job. That's the front office's job to supply them. This is why I say, this is why I think Everson Pereira should get a shot up here, right? So, and then you have Jesus Rodriguez. You can call him up too. Young, energy, bats here. So it's okay to call these guys up. And if you can't, if a guy's not performing, you can't trade him at the deadline. He's not a big contract, then maybe they can move on from somebody. Well, exactly. If you're going to bench one of these guys, is Pablo Reyes the guy you want out there, right? Pro mistakes that pro ball players should not be making. What mistakes are you talking about, James White? Being aware of pitch count? Who? Yankees starters don't go way beyond their pitch. I don't see Yankees pitchers throwing 120, 130 pitches. And relievers have to face at least three batters. There's a rule. You can't avoid that now. There's no more situational stuff. Yeah, Beater, Winans. Some of these guys deserve some opportunities. Yeah, lack of bench depth. And older veterans like Goldie need a rest, right? Just because he comes in doesn't mean he's going to come through. This is where the better bench depth needs to happen. And this is where I think Ian Hamilton and Tim Hill are probably vulnerable at the deadline. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, and again, the Yankees have a very young team. They've got Wells, they've got Dominguez, they've got Rice. Those guys have less than 2 years of service time each. So that's a third of their lineup. So, and these are the guys that are the ones generally making a lot of these fundamental mistakes. The young guys. Yeah. The mental errors. Like Volpe used to make those physical errors. Now he's making much better plays defensively in the infield. Much better plays. And despite all the stuff, the Yankees are still in first place. I think that, to me, is a good silver lining to have. And no one here is saying they're going to stay in first place the entire season. They're going to run away. They're in first place right now. It's up to them to keep it and stay there. It's up to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trade Judge. Yeah, get rid of him, man. Season's over. They're cooked. Yeah, the Phillies swept the Blue Jays. Yes, they did. Phillies are kind of coming around too. Yeah, the Mets just got swept. The Phillies have swept the team. The Phillies just picked up 3 games in the division. Right. Now let's see the standings in the NL East. Yeah, the Phillies will be 2 games out after this game. Well, stop forcing playing them. Who are his options beyond them? He doesn't have the options yet. He had this is the hand that he's dealt. Stacks. It's up to Cashman to supply him with better guys. That's why they're actively looking for an infielder, at least one infielder. So, and hopefully they bring him sooner than later. Just like the bullpen, hopefully they can bring in a bullpen guy sooner than later. And we'll see. Yeah, well, but keep in mind too. I mean, you can call up Jesus Rodriguez. What if he comes here and bats 0-20? That doesn't guarantee him he's going to come up here and murder it. If he does, great. But if he doesn't, it's not Boone's fault, right? It's not Cashman's fault. I mean, this is just the nature of baseball. So much energy is spent looking for people to blame, right? This is the nature of the sport. Major league level is the hardest level in the world to adapt to. I'm not convinced the Dodgers are going to win the NL West. You see, but we'll see. It's still too early. There's 90 games left. Yep. Yep. For was it 21st or 22nd? The first start of summer. Yep. Right. We're a week away from the official start of summer. Yep. And Stanton is supposed to be back tomorrow or Tuesday. Mm-hmm. No. And we're not the only team going through it right now, too, right? The Mets they're getting swept. So Dodgers have been swept. It happens. It happens. This is not exclusive to the Yankees. Bring in Arenado, Alcantara, Altuve, and other. Bring exactly. Bring all the A's, man. Bring all the A's. I like that idea, Ken. Get some consistency with the alphabet here, man. It's not guaranteed that we don't win. It's not guaranteed that any team wins. It's not guaranteed that the Dodgers win the NL West with their lineup either. Nothing's guaranteed. Yeah, the Mets are getting swept by the Rays. Yep. Yeah, the Yankees scored some runs too. But doesn't matter. They get swept. Right. Let's might be good to keep this balance. If we're going to attack the Yankees for getting swept, we can do the same thing for the Mets for getting swept. All right. Yeah. Sucks, but it happens. It's baseball. The Marlins also swept the Nationals. Look at that. The better teams are getting beat or swept by the worst teams. It looks like it's an epidemic this week in baseball. Nothing we can do. But again, it's just I'm moving on. There's nothing we can change about it now. Just gotta get ready for the series, come back home, get ready for the series against the Angels, and then the Orioles. So, yeah. I want the Giants to put the freaking Dodgers away. I want the Padres to go after them too. The Giants can. I mean, if Willie Adames starts playing well, and some of these other guys start playing well, and the Padres too, add pieces. The Dodgers are a beatable team. They're stacked. There's no doubt about it, but they're a beatable team. And I don't want to lose sight of that. All right. But I'm going to let y'all go. It's Father's Day. Let's go enjoy our Father's Day. And for the dads, again, happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for coming on. Smack the like button on the way out. We took it on the chin this weekend. It is what it is. So, nothing we can do. Astros swept the Twins. Yeah. A lot of teams getting swept this weekend. Must be a Father's Day thing or something. So, happy Father's Day to all the dads. Peace and love to all of yous. Be back tomorrow. If any news comes out, we'll be back as soon as it does. Over now.